Hello viewers, and welcome to another episode of Tom Talks. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between this and this. Well viewers, back to my original question. This Coke is made in America, while this one is in Mexico. One may be in a glass bottle while the other is in plastic, but it's the same Coke product we know and love, right? Not quite. They may look the same, but if you look at the ingredients list, you'll find that Mexican Coke contains sugar, an ingredient that is surprisingly missing from the American version. How can it be that American Coke doesn't contain sugar? And what is it that makes it so sweet? For this answer, we're going to have to go to the Midwest. The Midwest. The breadbasket of America. Or should I say, the corn basket of America. According to the EPA, 84 billion acres of corn were farmed last year. That's a quarter of all lands harvested. The US is also the world's largest producer of corn, producing about 30% of the world's supply. That is a truly staggering amount. And this brings in a lot of money, $63.8 billion to be precise. Enticed by these numbers and incentivized by the huge government subsidy, farmers are producing more and more corn each year. With so much corn on the market, the price has naturally fallen. But you're probably asking yourself what all this corn production has to do with your soda. Well, quite a lot actually. Corn has become such a cheap crop that soda companies have started to employ it to sweeten our sugary drinks. It's called high fructose corn syrup, and it's an ingredient that is only found in American beverages. In the 1950s, some clever scientists figured out a way of turning corn syrup into an artificial sweetener by converting its glucose into fructose. Because there's so much corn in this country, high fructose corn syrup is cheaper than sugar, and that's why it's been sweetening your drinks for the last 30 years. Is this necessarily a good thing? Should we be consuming a genetically modified artificial sweetener from a lab? Well, it certainly doesn't taste better. In a blind taste test, about 80% of people preferred Mexican Coke, made with real sugar, to the American counterpart. So I thought I'd conduct my own taste test right here in Paterno Library. First off, the Mexican Coke. And secondly, the American Coke. Well, I think I prefer the Mexican. The difference between sugar and high fructose corn syrup goes beyond just the taste. An increasing number of studies are finding that high fructose corn syrup may be bad for your health. A study at the Princeton University in New Jersey found that rats fed high fructose corn syrup gained fat 300% quicker than similar rats fed from fruit-derived sugars. This is because high fructose corn syrup is an artificial compound that our body isn't equipped to handle. This means it can take up to 4 days to properly digest the corn syrup. Another study found that increased usage of high fructose corn syrup in our foods is helping fueling the type 2 diabetes pandemic that is sweeping across our nation. A recent study shows that countries that use high fructose corn syrups in their food have higher rates for diabetes. The study found that countries with high consumption of high fructose corn syrup, like the United States, have rates of diabetes that were 20% higher than similar countries, like Germany and the UK, that don't use these artificial sweeteners. These findings were even consistent with the scientists holding consistent for body type, population, and wealth. While correlation isn't causation, it's hard not to be concerned about this product. Do you really think we should be consuming this genetically altered sweetener? It isn't being put in our drinks because it makes them taste any better, and it certainly doesn't look like it's benefiting us with our health. It's being put in our drinks because it's cheaper and because it helped the soda company's bottom line. While more and more studies are coming out showing that high fructose corn syrup isn't healthy, I can't see the government enforcing any sort of regulation anytime soon. High fructose corn syrup helps the corn industry too much, which in return makes the government a lot of money. The stance against high fructose corn syrup has to be a personal choice. Since I've learned about the possible dangers of high fructose corn syrup, I've made a conscious effort to cut it out of my diet as much as possible. It's difficult, considering it's in so many of our products these days, but it's entirely possible. There are an increasing number of soft drinks and foods on the market that are refusing to use high fructose corn syrup, and they are just as delicious. Making a decision to limit your consumption of high fructose corn syrup is a healthy decision, and one that I'm advocating this week. Well, this concludes another episode of Tom's Tips. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about high fructose corn syrup this week, and you are willing to give it up. Until next week, good night.